everybody. Welcome back to another great episode of Unpack Your Life. And today we have a special guest, Tessa Arnold. And Tessa is going to tell us all about her new products, which is Snapback Energy, we love, and tell us all about where she came from and how she made this transition into where she is now as a coach. And Tessa, please tell our audience where you came from, how you made the transition, and where you are now with what you're doing, which is very exciting.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jane. I'm so excited to be on here. Yeah, and talk about all the ways sort of my journey in life have unfolded and the paths, or the chapters, if you will, that they've taken. So I come from a background of global commercial banking. I was in implementations, led a team there, foundation of customer service, then went into the global aspect of the tech API space, and by trade have my project management certification. So I was very structured. I was very much grew
Yes,
up in this beautiful corporate environment, two large financial institutions. I don't have a negative thing to say about it. I absolutely loved it. I loved,
fantastic.
yeah,
Hey, if it
yeah.
worked at the time for you, that's a good thing.
Exactly, and that's the thing, it wasn't so much that anything was going wrong that created a shift where I was like, "I gotta get out of this job." I didn't. My job actually at that time that I was going through everything in my personal life was my tether to some kind of normalcy.
Okay.
It was my safe haven. I could show up at work with my suit on, smile on my face, ready to go, right? Knew what was expected of me, built rapport, had the network. I felt so strong and at home in that place. But as you well know, it demanded a lot of me, right?
Absolutely. And
So,
that's a part of certainty,
yes,
and I think as women of our ilk,
yes,
we like a little bit of uncertainty in our lives because that's what drives us.
right.
So what do you think about that when
It's such a great, I love that point. My mind's going in a million different places because I've never heard it put as such. But with the amount of consistency and predictability
right?
with work, it almost, now I'll tell you, I was having so much turmoil in my personal life that it was almost comforting in such a way that it was hard to leave, but I had to because I had to take care of my personal life. And then it got to a stage later on when I actually, a lot of people don't know, I left banking and then went back into the finance world for 2 years, right? So I got a call, my network came in strong. Hey, we want you. Well, you can work from this place. A dear friend of mine. And I said, yes, let's do it because it's a known factor, a known variable. Now, at that time, my circumstances personally had changed significantly, and I was really delving into health and wellness and in that space and taking care of myself, where I then came to realize after a couple years back into it, okay, wait, to your point, I was waking up every day with the same routine.
Oh,
It was
right?
going in the same direction. I knew my trajectory. I had my 12
Right.
10-year plan mapped out. I could tell you exactly where I was going to be, moving on to director level, this, that, and the other thing. And I woke up and it was almost like a sinking feeling of
Oh my God, I know that.
untapped, an
Yeah.
untapped fire that was burning inside of me that had been pushed down so much
Oh,
that I could
I know
barely
so
feel.
well.
Yes, and I could feel this little flame burning, and it's that flame that you feel when you get out of bed and you don't pick up your phone, you don't grab anything, you're getting ready for the same day, which is a repeat of the last day, which is a
Mhm.
repeat of the last day, and you just have that, ugh, you take a deep breath and it's almost as if Deepak Chopra says it so well. He goes, "How much longer are you gonna sleepwalk through life?"
Oh, it's that boredom repetition,
Yes.
and you just feel like you said, you're sinking. I know
Yes.
that so well. I know that dark hole, that
Mm.
tunnel, and all you can think of is, for me at that time, was,
Mhm.
what about me?
Yeah.
Who's checking on me? I'm checking on
Right.
everybody. I'm leading everybody
Right.
to where they need to go.
Right.
But what about me?
Yeah.
I kept feeling that loneliness inside
Yes.
and yearning for something, but not sure what I was yearning for.
No.
And it was really an interesting feeling
Mhm.
because I almost felt like I was left behind and
Mhm.
I pushed everyone else forward.
Mhm.
And the self care had to come into play for me to understand what I was going through as far as my mental wellness was concerned.
Right.
And the personal life, that was something different. It was good, but it wasn't good because I wasn't good.
Right.
Couldn't blame it on anyone. And I
Sure.
had to figure out, how am I going to unpack this?
Right.
How do you unpack your life when you're so structured,
Yes.
every day getting up, every day going to the same place, every day
Yep.
speaking to the same people about the same things,
Mhm.
and it wasn't exciting anymore,
No.
you know?
There was almost like a battle cry coming
Oh
from
my
deep
God, right?
within of my soul being like, "Wait," you're
Yes.
getting through these beautiful decades of your life and you
Oh
get
my
to
God,
that point. And I think we forget to realize that as human beings, we are evolving. It doesn't stop through
no,
childhood years. We
no,
don't realize that we're going through this beautiful evolution in our teens, in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 50s, in our
yeah,
70s. Yes, and right, and we as women, know the beautiful aspects of premenopausal, menopause,
right,
and the different chapters, and we're dealing with hormones, and that's a whole nother story. But there's also some beautiful evolutional tapping into and self identification that happens at that time too. And I think you said so much there when you start to unpack. Yes, there is, right? There's two things. I like to think of it as you go into this, you wake up and you have, up until this point, whomever's listening, whatever age you're at right now, up until this point, potentially, you have put on your back like backpacks, like weights, these identities.
yes.
Okay, I'm a daughter.
Oh
I'm a
my God,
college student. I'm now a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a
all these
friend.
labels.
I'm a VP of a company. I'm a director of a company. I'm a C suite executive. You know, you put on all these different titles. So now you're the executive, you're the mom, you're the wife, you're the this, that, and the other thing. You're the daughter that, the family calls because you need to show up at this time. And so now these have been sewn into you so tight and layered on you so heavy
God.
that you realize, well, wait a second, this is who I am.
Oh,
And that's where we got to stop. That's where we've got to say, well, these are labels that have been put onto me up until this point. Did I ever stop at any point and say, is this me?
and do I
Is,
want it?
do I want it?
Label, you know? I don't want to be the
Yes.
strongest girl in the family.
Yeah.
Why
Right.
is everyone calling me?
Right.
Can I get some help?
Right. Exactly. Why do I have to be the one who's carrying everybody in the house? Why do I have to be the one responsible, for this, that, or the other thing?
Mhm.
Why, there's so many whys, but we don't realize that we have the agency to ask the why.
We have to, I love what you say. We have to be the agents of our lives. And
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot of these different things from people, like what you said, take agency of our life. Okay,
Mhm.
who's your CIO of your life? That chief inspire officer. Who inspires
Mm,
you, right? And
right.
something else I heard this, I think a couple of weeks ago, which I thought was so poignant. Someone said creativity is not benign, it's malignant.
Mm,
And the
mm,
longer it lingers, it becomes that cancer that kills you, that takes you down,
mm.
because you need to evolve, like you
Yes.
said, and your creativity, no matter what it may be, needs to come out.
Right.
Or it becomes this malignant cancer inside of you. And I thought that was
Right.
so well put. When I heard that, I went, oh my God, that's so true. Because if
Right.
we are these structured people in finance and real
Mhm.
estate and finance goes hand in hand. So we deal with the
Right.
same type of people depending on what your financial abuse has been. Another keyword I had, I was like, oh my God, financial
Right.
abuse. And I just couldn't believe it. I was just like,
Right.
these are things that we need to talk about as women.
Yes.
Men talk about this all the time. They have,
Right.
cocktails and they spill their guts out to each other. But
Yeah.
women, we're very protective when it comes to speaking about certain aspects of our lives like that, because we're not sure. One, most of us don't trust each other, which is crazy because
Right.
we're the pillars. of the world.
of the
We bring
world.
everybody
Right.
into the world.
Right,
So
with the fabric.
exactly, and we
Mm.
have to look at that landscape and say, "You know what? We have to trust someone. Who's our sister?
Mhm.
Who's the person we need to align ourselves with to get through that?" So when I hear these, and I'm not gonna, they're not buzzwords, they're real words.
Right.
Financial abuse, you know, uh, your creativity being, you know, malignant. If you don't
Right.
know that and you don't know how to grab that and hold on to it and open it up to the world, because I always tell people the world is waiting for you. You don't
Mhm.
need permission. You
No.
need to put your foot on the gas and go.
Yes, it is open for
Open.
anything. It is wide open. There's no close signed.
No,
You don't need a ticket.
that's
You
right.
don't need permission. You
That's
don't need
right.
somebody to tell you, yes, now you can go after it. And I read the other day, and this hit me, it resonated with me so much. Desire is not seeking things, desire is
Mm.
seeking fulfillment.
Oh my God,
And
that's
that's as women today, multi age, many ages, going all the way down to your, you can be in your late teens and you're looking at colleges, all the way up through, later stages of life. It is that seeking and that uncomfortable feeling, unsettling, not feeling healthy in your body. And that we can get into with the Ayurvedic practice, because this malignancy, as
yes.
you mentioned, show manifest in your body. And it looks like inflammation,
Mhm.
chronic disease,
Yes.
numbing, right? So how many people listening? And please, I really at fault too. I'm a human being, and while I coach and teach, I also work on this on a daily basis. We have those habits and those numbing, that when that uncomfortable feeling, where we feel so uncomfortable in our skin, and we can't even sit with ourselves, and we can't sit in stillness, we can't sit in a group of women and have a very just frank conversation about, hey, this doesn't feel good. Have you ever thought about this? And what
Absolutely.
if I decided tomorrow that I was going to take agency and start to really take stock of who I am, what I want in this life, what are my values, what are the habits that hold me back, and we continue on that path? How amazing would that feel to have an environment of other women that we could sit in front of, like you and I,
Absolutely.
and have those just open, vulnerable, honest conversations? I'll tell you what, we would be unstoppable
Oh,
in
because
this
there's so
world.
many imposters out here. You have to peel
Yes.
back all the layers before you
Yes.
get to the root of who someone is. And I
Right.
think if we just bring that to the table, we can have amazing conversations. We can
Mm.
align ourselves with the sisterhood that we need in this
Yes.
world, because like I said, I have met some amazing women. And I used to think, yeah, I'm a New Yorker,
Mhm.
Philadelphian, born and raised in Philly, came to New
Yeah.
York and lived in New York most of my life, then moved on to Florida, which I don't know how that happened, but okay.
It happens.
I came back. I came back. I got my senses and I came back to New York. And I just think, why? Why can't we just pull it all together? You
Mhm.
know? And I used to think to myself, where's my Sex in the City girls?
Yeah,
Why don't I
right,
have those girlfriends?
right.
Right. And I grew up in that stage. So as I got older, I thought, I don't have those women in my life because the women I meet aren't as genuine and
Mhm.
authentic as I need them to be so I can open up. And when
Right.
I feel like I'm opening up, I feel a pushback. So I
Mhm.
definitely internalize again and never want to bring that person out. But
Right.
I want to live out loud with the women I'm around. I don't
Yes.
want to hide or not be transparent or not be my
Mhm.
authentic self. And I'm a little upset with the authentic word. It's like the buzzword of the decade these days.
Right.
But I have to ask that question a lot. Like, what does authenticity mean to you, Tessa? Like
Right.
when you're dealing with
Yeah.
people on a daily basis.
I love this so much, and I love everything that you just said, and I definitely want to get back to that conversation that you have when you're out with a group of women. Authenticity to me is simply being at home within you,
Ooh,
capital S self,
ooh,
and all of the multi beautiful, chaotic parts of you.
yes.
Right? The messy that's inside, the trauma, the emotion, the ambition, the creativity, the
Hmm.
stuff that we're all working through, right? We're all just walking each other home, but it is being able to sit with you. Jane, we're sitting there together, and feeling so confident that I'm not putting on the mask.
Absolutely.
I'm not zipping up the suit and being like put together. I'm
All
not
the
going to show.
labels.
Yeah, I'm walking up as me. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you how light that
Oh,
feels when you live in this world that already has gravity pushing down on you every single day.
oh,
The weight of the world, the weight of motherhood or, parenthood or a partner or work or whatever it is, or just living
yes.
weighing down on you. I'm not going to put on 100-pound suit that is all those labels and identity and that smile on my face when I walk
I
out, because
know.
I used to go to the closet and cry enough by myself. I'm not doing it anymore. Right? The bathroom was my
Yeah.
best friend,
Bottom of the shower for me, that was it.
Yes. I mean,
Looking
it's,
down on me.
yes, let it go, where you can just let it go. And for that
That's
split
right.
second, guards down, mask is off,
Mhm.
responsibilities, labels are washing away down the shower drain before you have to put them back on when get
Absolutely.
dressed. And I'll tell you what happens is you sit in those places. And I have people in my life, dear people in my life, who I know so intimately well. And I know the capital S self that they are. I know the aspects of them because I've known them so long. And I know that the suit that they put on every day is a heavy one.
Oh,
They are not ready. They are not on their journey yet where they're ready to leave that suit behind and walk out tomorrow of that door as their bright essence of self. Because
wow.
you can tell when you are connected to who you are, when you are free, when you have liberated yourself to be who you are, to walk your path. And guys, I'm not saying you have to set your world on fire. I'm saying you just need to sit with
I'm
yourself.
not going to say I burnt the house down because I did.
Right?
Okay.
You just need to sit. I want you to just go sit with you and take stock in your body. And are you living a life that you wake up to and it's a fullest expression of you? Do you have the tools? Do you have the habits? Are you feeling healthy? How's your body feeling today? And I want you to just check in with yourself, because when I go out in the world and I do that, yes, does it make people uncomfortable? Absolutely it does,
Oh,
because
my God. Yeah. They're
because
not ready for you.
they're not ready, and they're not ready to pull that essence out in themselves and get so connected with it. And that's why we take the steps that we do to slowly get you there. So you're there each step of the way, right? This isn't a 30-day gimmick. This isn't a trial run, money back
Your
guarantee.
life.
This is your life,
Yeah.
and we're going to put steps into place, habits into place that you're never going to disconnect again, right? We're going to put those things called boundaries, right?
Absolutely. Oh,
You
my
know,
God.
which
So,
I didn't learn until my 30s.
yeah. How about me? 50s.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "What, I can say no, and that's a full sentence, and I can do this." It's wild, but it's such a gift, because when you show up at that table with those women as you, as fully connected to yourself, you can't not see it.
Right.
You can't see it in the joy that you have in life. You can't see you see the fulfillment all over your face. The indecisiveness, the second guessing, the anxiety, they're manageable. You have the tools. So yes, people see within you what they want so much within themselves. They don't know how to get there. It feels uncomfortable.
Oh,
But you
God.
embody it. You
Well,
do.
a lot of people don't know how to unpack that in
Right.
front of other people and walk in as themselves. And like
Right.
I said, a lot of people don't know how to take agency of their
No.
life,
Right.
and the whole thing with you have to inspire yourself. No one's coming to save you, to take you.
Absolutely.
You have to
Yep.
know that that's what you want, and then you have to figure out how do you navigate to that area of expertise to be there. Like
Right.
you, for me, it was kind of it seemed, I'm not 100% sure. It seemed a little more organic for you. I
Mm.
mean, just by your spirit and me talking to you right now, you it seems like you transform you made that transition from the financial services into who you really are supposed to be, because you seem very comfortable. And I probably wouldn't have picked it up that you were in the financial industry. Of course, I read that, but the person, you seem very spiritual, you seem very down to earth, very
Right.
comfortable with Tessa. And a lot of people don't know how to take that.
Right.
When you're strong and you're comfortable within yourself and you're guiding your own spirit. And when you get there, people that are around you that have not discovered that within themselves feel very uncomfortable because
Right.
they're not sure who they are. So
Right.
that projection comes out.
Mhm.
them towards that person that is secure with themselves. And then they become more uncomfortable.
Exactly. It's you've so the way I'm a visionary. Things came into my head and I see them as pictures, and I think about us all running, right, or walking and doing the things, and that's fine. And we're all this monochromatic tone, right? And then all of a sudden, a light, that fire, that little spark has been lit, and it gets brighter the more you walk the path, and brighter. Then the more you take care of yourself, and the more the health shines through, and the more you get to know you, right? We go through life, we're born, and we're this beautiful ball, a baby, all the things, and nothing has, we don't have, our conscious hasn't come into play, conscious thought. We're not worried about the future or bills or this and that, until we were starting to have people care for us, and we're just worried about, when we're going to eat and sleep. And there's a beautiful period of time, right?
Masculinity thing, I think.
Yeah, and there is trauma, because to be born is traumatic. It's the first trauma we experience. So then we're going down our list of traumas, and then we're going down our path of life. And if the spark isn't ignited, you're going to continue going down to that path. And for most of us, that baggage that's put on top of us, the
Oh,
suitcases that are packed
yes.
up, right? They're never unpacked. And then we just have this feeling of being uncomfortable for so long. I wish people could see pictures. The old talk shows where they did like the before and after.
Oh, yes, yes.
Right, we should do that. But there's pictures where you can see the expression of me is not open, right? I've been layered down. It's like a mirror that's gotten so dirty that you can't
Oh,
see
I
in
know
it
that. Yes,
anymore. And I finally wiped it clean, but that's taken some time. And it's just it's something that has been a part of my journey. And the more the green lights went on, and the more that the journey unfolded, and I got the yes. And the yes is a nervous system that's feeling calm. The yes is, this is the next right action for me. The yes is, my body feels well. I'm the
right.
healthiest I've ever been. My
Yes,
skin is great. My movements really align to who I am. I'm at all of these things. Work's coming in, relationships are thriving, my kids are doing well. I'm embodying this for them, so they don't later have to figure out boundaries at 30 years old,
right.
or, an identity crisis, which they could very well, and they probably
Oh,
will.
absolutely.
We all do, and I'll go through it with them. But it's interesting. I wrote something this morning, and I have it here in front of me, actually, because it was something that just really resonated. And it's, are you the prisoner of your past or
Oh,
the hero of your future?
oh, I love that.
You
Okay.
know?
Yeah, because you definitely could be the prince. And people go through life staying locked up
Yes.
and afraid to live out loud,
Yeah.
and I think that is the worst thing anyone could do, is have regrets in their life of what they really wanted out of life, and then are not able to put forth that and
Right.
come through and shine, because that's
Right.
what you want to do. You want to shine. You want to have your say so in life. You want to have a voice.
Yes.
I know for me, speaking about the mirror, being at home, looking in the mirror and looking at this picture that sat next to on my dressing table
Mhm.
when I was in college, and I was like, oh my God, I was ready to take on the world.
Yes.
And then I would look at myself in the mirror. I mean, fast forward 40 years, and I'm saying
Right.
to myself, I don't recognize you. I should
Mhm.
still see a glimpse of
Yes.
that woman, that young woman who was ready to just take on the world. She was open,
Right.
she didn't have all these layers. She wasn't
Right.
identified as, oh, she's going to be Wall Street. Oh, we know her. We know where she's going,
Right.
how she's going to get there. When I knew nothing, I was
Yeah.
17 years old. Ask me what I want out of life. I have no idea. I don't even know what life is yet.
It was unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then fast forward all those decades, you're still like, wait a minute. I wasted all that time trying to be that person.
Mhm.
How do I unpack who I
Right.
am now to get back to that excited, ambitious, wanting to know the light in life and
Yes.
be around people that I want to be around, not people that I have to be around?
Right.
Do I unpack that? Boom. the pandemic comes,
Mm.
I get time to sit with all of that on top of losing two best friends.
Mhm.
Now, young, saying to myself, oh my God,
Yeah.
anything could happen.
Mhm.
I'm not realizing my dream. Okay, what is my dream? I done been
Mhm.
through all these decades of life. I did what I was supposed to do.
Right.
I got to where it looked like I was successful on the
Right.
outside, but inside I was being torn to shreds.
Oh.
I had no idea how I was going to climb out of that because, okay, I did all of those things. Okay,
Mhm.
success looks different to everybody.
Right.
But in my, you know, area of life at that time, success was more baubles and the nice car and the money in
Yeah.
the bank and going to the great restaurants, but still feeling empty, still not being
Mhm.
aligned with the people I felt like I should be aligned with.
Right.
And I decided at that point, once I got the opportunity to sit with all that, no more. No
Right.
more, Jane. Unpack your life, burn the damn house down if you
Down.
have to, because you will not leave this earth
Right.
without being free,
Mm.
without being free to be who I feel as though I am. And now I feel that way. At first, I couldn't, the unpack your life thing didn't work for me at first.
Right.
And it's a really interesting story. I went into my garage after 16, well, not after 16 years, but off and on, cleaning
Right.
the garage as normal. That's what I did. I
Yeah.
enjoyed listening to music, cleaning my garage. And I looked around and I said, oh my God, I never unpacked my life. It's still
Mhm.
in boxes. Why in the world is my life still in boxes? Why don't I see any of me in my
Right.
home? This is not who I am. So how do I change that? So I started going on that journey, trying to make that, transition, trying to figure out where I wanted to be, who I want,
Mhm.
who am I? I'm not living my truth. I need to
Right.
step into the light and live my truth. And
Mhm.
my truth is not this anymore. So, okay, how do you make that transition? How do you navigate to the life you want?
Right. It's so interesting too, because for those listening, it can be so many different things that
And
are gonna bring
scary.
you. Yes, it's terrifying. Oh my gosh, I say to people all
So
the time,
scary.
it's so scary. You feel like you're having a full-on crises internally, but how uncomfortable are you already that you got to this point, right?
Right.
Where you're listening to this podcast, where you grab the self-help book, where you go to the gym, where you're doing the new fab
Yeah,
diet.
yeah, yeah.
We've all done it. We've spent all the money on it. We've stayed up at night worrying about it. The amount of money that you've spent on all the little, and I'm telling you, the shortcuts because you're not willing to look at yourself just yet and take responsibility.
Right.
And it's a lot of money, and the same amount of money you could pay for a few sessions
And
with
energy.
somebody. And
That's
and energy and the nights, the countless nights. And I say this with so much grace because I sat there and I spent so money. And had I known that there are people like me and you and other people that I could reach out to sooner, man, I would have done it
uh,
years earlier. But it's okay because it brought me to the point that I am now, and we're all exactly where we should be. Don't think that you've gone totally off the rails. So now you're at this point, whether it's you're uncomfortable because of the weight or the health or the work or the relationship, or it's that chronic malignant feeling that you
uh,
have inside that you're unfulfilled, you're feeling bad. And I know people too, when as you said it, you're being torn to shreds inside.
mhm.
I have to tell everybody listening, because it happened with me. Eventually, you're just going to burst. There's
Uh,
nothing left.
That's why I said you burn the house down.
You burn the house down. Let's not get to that point if we can, because
Right.
we want to hold space, right? It's
Mhm.
holding space for others that can be like, hey, I see where you are. We're
Right.
going to walk together. And you ask, where do you start at this point? It is the most unsettling, terrifying point in that moment to be at. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Know that you are fundamentally okay. You are tethered to this world. You're connected to this world. And from that point on, I need you to remember some things. That one, those values that you had as those younger, at that young girl looking at you out of
Mhm.
the picture, right? As me being this larger than life, teen that was like, I'm going to take on the world. And
Exactly.
you, I was so carefree with the unknown. I said, let it all come. And I had dealt with so much trauma already, losing a father and a brother
So
and
much.
all of these that I was still had this hunger and this just vivation for life. And that same person that you're thinking about fondly right now, that you, and maybe it's not even you, maybe it's the embodiment of somebody that you looked up to as a hero or an inspiration. You have those values inside of you. They cannot be shaken or torn from you.
Mhm.
So, fundamentally, while you have the layers, that those values, they're your true north, they're your core, they're who you are. Nobody can take you away from you.
And you have to
All
have integrity with that.
Yes, you
You
do.
you
The
have to.
more you compromise who you are and your values, the worse it's going to hurt, the
Oof.
more repetitive patterns of what you don't want in your life are going to come in. And
Mhm.
you're going to say, hey, but I have the vision, I'm manifesting. No, you're
No,
compromising.
the universe thing, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore. It's like, I'll let the
Yes.
universe handle that. I'm
No,
vibrating at this level, and I'm like, "No."
no.
Buzzwords. No.
Intentional action. That's
Exactly.
what we need. We need healthy habits for success.
Right.
We need to fundamentally get back to who we are as our womanhood, as us,
And
at
take
our
a
core.
decision.
Yes.
That's the most important part.
Yes.
Take a decision and
Yes.
then move forward. Baby
Mhm.
steps. We're not
Baby
saying
steps.
it's a huge thing, just
Yep.
small steps to get to where you need to be. Because you
Exactly.
gotta learn, you gotta navigate.
Yep. Yeah.
So what was it like for you
Yeah.
when the light bulb went off and you said, you know what, I have to unpack all of this. I need to move from this financial
Mm.
scale, even though
Yes.
you loved it, you need
Right.
to be free.
Right.
What
Well,
was
and I didn't even know. I didn't even know fundamentally that that was, I was starting to do this journey, because for those, you might not be able to name it or say, but it was enough. It was enough. I said enough. And I got up from, I think, the bathroom floor, and I was like, okay, I can't hold it together right now. I've got uncle. I call uncle. What needs to give so I can start caring for myself?
right?
And I took a leave of absence. It was one of the hardest things that I had to do. I didn't want to leave the company because I needed to. I had had a lot of pain in shoulders, anxiety, neck, and
Stress.
stress and all the things. And I had two small children. And then I decided to leave that line of work and started to care for myself in
Wow.
such a way that I hadn't done since. Nobody taught you how self-care at that point. I didn't have it shown to me in ways. I mean, I had a single mother who was raising us when my father passed. It was three of us. She was working day in and day out. She wasn't there taking bubble baths and this and that. And we didn't talk about self-care then. And I thank her every day for it. She's a beautiful, strong woman. And then I think about, so I had to learn this, relearn this, and figured out what felt good, what filled a cup that was so empty, it was so dry that it started to crack.
Wow. Your cup definitely wasn't running over. It
No,
was
it was
over.
not.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to pour into me. And that's where I took the leave of absence, and then I left the job. And then I ended up going back to it later and realized after I'd started to do the self care that this is not where I needed to be. But I'll tell you, that was taking time for myself. So I went and I spoke to a coach. I signed up. I went to a therapist. I went to a coach. I was like, these people are out here, there. I was living out west, and people were readily available. I had a physical with my doctor.
Okay.
Things that we put off as women. And I got all of my, regular appointments checked and this and that. I was like, okay, I got to take care of me. I've got to look now at the habits that aren't serving me, that were just allowing me to survive, right? And
Right.
how can I tweak this that I can figure out ways to thrive? And I started journaling everything. And
Oh,
I had
journaling. Yeah.
already journaled for a while. So to go back, I have stacks of journals now that I still go back to. And I cry. I mean, I talk about vulnerability and kind of, looking at your inside out. Man, that person who survived so much, whew, talk about a warrior. I love that version of me.
Yeah.
She got me here.
She
She
got you
did.
there, and you
Yes.
told her at that time, she didn't tell you it was gonna be alright. You had to go
No.
say to her,
Right.
"Whew, if I had the opportunity to speak to you, you warrior, I would share with you, it's gonna be alright.
It's
Take
gonna
your
be okay.
time. Take your
Yes.
time." You
Take
know,
your time.
talking about, like, self-care, I think for us, looking back at my mom and my older sisters and them, self-care was going to get a manicure and a pedicure. That was
Right.
self-care, and possibly getting a massage,
Right. Right.
half a one. Um,
Right.
but self-care is so important today mentally to keep us
Yes.
stabilized, to keep us upright, and
Right.
so many things knock us down because I always say, like we are the pillars. We are the
Mhm.
pillars of our lives. We have to
Right.
connect with ourselves to really put ourselves out there with other people because if we're afraid of who we are
Mhm.
versus who we want to be and who we need
Right.
to be that superwoman,
Right.
how are we going to get there if we don't find the right coaches and I'm a life coach and trust me, I need a coach.
Right.
I need a coach
Absolutely, 100%.
to help me navigate.
And I'm constantly learning. It's not that I'm
Oh,
seeking. I think there's a difference. Constantly seeking can be an avoidance strategy versus action, but to learn, and I think that's where, if we leave anything with this conversation today, we can continuously be in a cycle of action or avoidance.
and
So
put it into action when you're
put
learning.
it,
Yes.
yes, and then apply it. And that's what I started to do with some of these healthy habits. And then I knew I needed to find other ways to be able to care for myself and to fundamentally understand me
Yes.
and who I was and what I was and why I'd showed up in this way and why these habits
Mm.
kept coming up. And that's where I got into the Ayurvedic health practice. And
Oh my God. Yes.
you've said a couple times, you've mentioned the word pillars, and I
Yes.
love that because I think of this beautiful, strong strength holding the structure together. And we as women have the capacity for so much emotional intelligence,
Oh, so
empathy, compassion, more patience than we know.
more grace
So
than we
much.
need.
Yes, and so much strength. Yet we are the first to compromise in a lot of times. But we're so knowledgeable about so much. I find women to be so beautifully dynamic and fascinating and intelligent. But yet, what we fail to spend a lot of time on for so long is understanding the works of our body and
Oh,
how this beautiful, magical vessel who brings other human beings into the world really operates. And that takes us into gut health, right? So,
oh,
out of the six pillars, as we talked about self care, we're shifting away from just maybe a surface, this dopamine, like this, your nails. I mean, my nails are done. My nails look nice,
of
this or
course.
that, which are lovely. I like to go with my daughter and get that done. But really getting into the fundamental self care that's going to take us through days, right? That builds up a resistance to
Hmm.
the chaotic world that we live in, where we can maintain for most of the time, right? We know we're going to have peaks and valleys and our nervous system's going to react,
Right.
but we find this balance. So the majority of the time we can stay in this beautiful place or come back to fairly quickly with the tools that I teach. And I will say fundamentally, if you're going to start on this path, and I hope you all do at some degree and some level, if you're not already on it, is nutrition, right? Gut health.
Absolutely.
Square one. If you're eating junk and you're trying to do this, it's not helping you because the amount your chemicals that are being released from the
Oh,
second brain, which is the gut, you can't help you if you're feeding it things that aren't nourishing you on a deeper cellular level. And it's
mhm.
understanding how your body, and it's not a one size fits all. It's a personalized
Oh,
prescription,
absolutely.
So you've
So that
got to
takes
take
us
care.
to your product that you have,
Yes,
that
yes,
energy. And I love
yes.
that because it talks about the liver and cleaning
Yes.
out the gut. And when that is sick,
Yes.
everything's sick.
Everything is.
So,
Yep.
and a lot of people don't realize they have to clean out the gut because all the things that we put in there, the sugar, the
Mm.
flour, and I worked out all my life. So I'm
Mhm.
a huge label reader. So
Yes.
when I read about your snapback energy and you
Yeah.
started talking about the gut and the liver, and it was, I just took all that in and I said, you know what, that is so important, especially
Mm.
as we get older as women.
Yes. Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about snapback energy.
Absolutely. So Snapback is a dietary supplement. So what it is, it's a patented scientifically formulated powder that you mix with water.
Mhm.
And it primarily has these beautiful patented 5 patent ingredients that when you put together, love your body in such a way that it can love you back. Primarily when we look at the powerhouse, which is your liver, which a
Mhm.
lot of people don't understand, it helps perform over 500 functions within the body, either performing or being supplemented to help perform, like blood circulation, healthy, look at your blood flow to make sure that it's removing toxins. You have your immune system, you have your metabolism, you have so many other things that it's really contributing to that's going to allow you to feel your best. So within the ingredient list that we have glutathione. Your body produces naturally, but over time it starts to lessen the amount. And the glutathione is really going to allow your liver to perform at its best. So, what we've done within our patented list of ingredients, we've reintroduced that back into the product, along with such beautiful things like milk thistle and prickly pear. So, for hydration, for immune boost. And then also, we've got amino acids, licorice root, just all these beautiful natural ingredients that your body craves. But right, you're not going to go out and buy separately, nor you probably have a hard time finding them. Your health food store would have all the supplements on its own. But we put them all into a beautiful powder that you can throw in your purse and take with you. I have a snapback energy with me everywhere I go. I'm
Oh,
a single mom of 2 kids. They're 10 and 11. I'm running around. They bring
all
home
day
all
long.
sorts of stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, if I'm not feeling, because my energy levels are really, they're maintained at a high level, and my mood and this, and I take regular supplements, but I'll tell you, a lot of it has to do with the 6 pillars of health that I teach in my nutrition. As
Absolutely.
soon as I've seen that I've maybe picked up something from the kids, a cold here, that, while if I haven't already taken a snapback today, I'm taking one immediately, because it has more zinc and vitamin C than most of the products on the market that even market
Well, they're not
for.
even foundational. Yours sounds very foundational first.
Right. Exactly. And you can take it at any time anyway. It's nothing that you're going to say, okay, well, I can take this once. No, because it's ingredients that your body wants anyway, all the time. So we have the 2 flavors, and it's one of those products that you create these things, right? Because it's what you need. I need this, I can't find it. And you
Right.
create it and you put out into the place, and it's too good that you can't share with others. And that's what I do with Snapback. And then that's what I do with the Ayurvedic health coaching.
Which is lovely. And if we had this, I mean, think about it. Our liver has gone through hell as we were coming through college. We were drinking,
Right.
partying. You
Right.
never even thought about a snapback energy. You just woke
Right.
up and you were okay. Today,
Right.
as
We
an
need
older
it.
woman, we need to snap back something because, I mean, I'll go out, I'll have maybe a glass of wine or two.
Right.
I'm dead. I
Right.
can't do it. As we get older, we need
Right.
something. And I think throughout the years, there were not products that were introduced to us like a snapback energy,
Right.
and other products that help you, prebiotics, probiotics to help you clean
Right.
your gut. No one talks about cleaning your gut,
No.
and taking charge of that because we're so busy with our lives. We have so many things,
Right.
thrown at us, my God, with the internet, everybody's, an expert and a guru at this. And you
Mhm.
have to decide what works for you,
Mhm.
you know.
You do, and you have to, so much there, because with the snapback, it's there for you to help support your body even when you're not doing those things. So then when you do go out, or you have the event, or you have the networking, or you have this or that, it's there for you to grab so you can still feel your best and balanced
Right.
life, right? That's why we came up with 2 steps to a balanced life. You take one before you go out and take one before you go to bed, and it's going to help you with that, where you do have balance within your life. And I think you're so right. We are so overstimulated in it's 2025, and we have things thrown at us all day
That's
long,
right and center.
our heads spinning, and we grab the latest thing or the trending thing and this and that, and we don't ask a lot of questions, right? Because we're moving so fast. But I really ask everybody, when it comes to your health and your overall well-being and who you work with, slow down and ask the questions,
Right.
right? Because it's your time, it's your energy, it's your money, it's all of those things.
It's your
And
body, for
it's your
God's
body. It's the only body you have.
That's right.
Right? And if you love your body, it's going to fundamentally love you back and stay with you as long as you
Absolutely.
want. So you can do all these things. Longevity, that's another word that people are throwing out there all the time. Key to longevity, secret to longevity. You remember
Right.
there used to be like cantaloupe lotion or something. It was like I remember Cindy Crawford had this beautiful like commercial of this gold lotion that you put on.
Oh
She
my
still
God.
looks great.
Yeah, she
But
does.
you have to realize that it's your body, it's at your core, it's the internal work that you do, mind, body, soul, that's going to carry you through and really start to take the clock back on that biological age, right? Because everything to anybody who's listening, everything that we set up until this point, if you don't do anything, if you toe the line, if you keep it all packed up, if you wear the suit every day,
Oof,
if you have all the layers, the malignancy and all this, I'm going to tell you it ages you at a rapid level. So if all you care about is the age then, which I get it, we're all trying to grab onto that longevity, but it's quality of
that's right.
life that we're chasing. And that's what we need to get back to. And we got to start within ourselves.
And values, our
Yes,
values. We have to definitely step back into that because I think we lost them along the
I
way.
did.
You know, Tessa, what do you think women
Mm,
should talk about that they don't talk about much at all?
mhm. I think they should really sit down and when somebody says, "How are you?" I don't want to hear fine.
Ooh,
I do not want to hear fine. And if you say fine, I'm going to say, "Okay, great. How are
who
you?"
are you?
And they ask me, and I'm also, and if they're not comfortable to say it at that point, I'll tell you, I say high and low, for those, let's check out, my stuff. You're going to see the vulnerability in their vulnerability is a superpower. And when you show up with each other, if you embody that and say your truth and speak your truth and
Absolutely.
live your truth, you are giving others the ability to do it too. You don't have to push them.
No.
You don't. Just show up as you.
Hmm.
And that's all you have to do. And that's what I'd say is like let's have the real conversations. Let's listen to hear,
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hear them out loud,
Yes.
and hopefully you pick up on it.
Right.
What do you think society glorifies about success that you found is a complete lie?
Oh gosh.
Everything.
I was like, how do we have another hour? I was like, we've said it so long about, living out loud and meeting your true self and living in your truth. I'm going to tell everybody right now, including myself again, it does not have to look like your neighbors. It does not have to look like the person with 1 million+ followers on
Joneses.
whomever. And that's what we used to say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And my daughter comes home and she's like, "Well, so and so did this and so." I said, "I don't care about so and so doing anything. What about you?
Right.
It's your character that I care about. It's your things that you enjoy. It's how you want to show up. It's what you want to wear because you feel good in it, right? It's the
That's a
things
great
that
point.
you want to pursue and do." I I was talking to my team, so I'll be vulnerable here. I was talking to my team about putting out some stuff on website, this and that. And I'm like, everybody's, looking this way or doing this. And I go, I can't fit in that box. I
Ooh,
won't do it. I go, I don't care if I talk to 10 people or 50 or 50,000. I
right.
go, those are my people and they found me. I
Exactly.
go, but I won't be in the box anymore.
Good.
And
I
I'm
love
not checking boxes. I'm not doing boxes. I'm living out loud. I'm going to be me. And because it's never felt better. And I'll tell you what, I need far less than I ever thought
Oh
when
my God.
I'm
Right.
feeling fulfilled. Far less.
That's the most surprising part, I think, because we have all these dreams in our head,
Mhm.
all these things, and we're always told, dream big, dream big.
Right.
What's dream big? Is
Right.
dream big having integrity? Is dream big aligning yourself with the right people so you can
Right.
be yourself? What's dream big anymore,
I love that.
How do you dream big to fulfill who you want to be? first part of that is you have to figure out who you want to be. Who do
Right.
you want to show up in life as?
Right.
And hopefully it's you. It's the person you want to deliver to the world properly with
Right.
integrity, you
Yes.
know. And I always tell people right now in my life, I want to live out loud. I want to be Jane.
Mhm.
I don't want you to think of me as Jane Bond because that name is very strong. And I felt when I was going through unpacking, I didn't like that person
Mhm.
and what came behind it, the expectations with the name. And I was like, wait a
Right.
minute, I'm just Jane. I just happen to have the last name Bond. Okay, marketing reasons. I get that. Strong
Right.
name, two syllables, boom. Everybody
Right.
can remember it. They associate it with James Bond, but I am Jane.
Right.
I am not a secret agent. I cannot
Right.
do those things. So please don't hold me up to that. And
Mm.
I found that um, very sad at one point. And
Mhm.
I thought, okay, I need to live up to the Jane Bond that I know I am
Mm.
and not the Jane Bond people expect. Okay,
Yes.
yes, I'm in real estate. Okay, I get it. Be the top agent, make the money, have
Right.
the house, have the clothes. It gets exhausting.
Exhausting.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm Superwoman, but I need to take my cape off sometimes,
Mhm.
shake her out.
Yes, or hang her up,
Woof,
for a moment. It's like taking off all those other people's expectations of
so
you
much weight.
or what we think people, sometimes it's just what we think people expect of us. And when we release that, what a relief that it is. And I'd go back to what I said earlier. I think everybody right now needs to question, what are these desires?
Right.
Because again, the desires that you have deep down, the ones that still make you feel lonely because you don't have them, the ones that have you staying up in the middle of the night thinking and checking off the list, the ones that make you working so hard, I promise you, they're not for the things, they're for the fulfillment. If those things will truly fulfill you, then okay. But
And
you got
okay,
to ask yourself that.
I don't know anybody that believes that.
Right,
That's the
exactly.
malignancy of the
Yes,
creativity that's deep down inside
yes,
that you will not let shine.
right.
And that whatever holds you back, you need to figure that out and let it go.
Mhm.
I have to say, Mel Robbins, she's talking about it like nobody's business. Let it go.
Let it
It's
go.
so real. Those three words, let it go, because it will whew,
Yeah.
metastasize.
Yes, 100%.
That's it.
And
Then
the
you're done.
and the thing that's gonna get you there, you have to understand you're a product of your environment.
Hmm?
So if you have
Oh,
all this
100%.
clutter and noise and stuff and the people that you can't show up with who aren't going to inspire you or guide you or lift you up, or your environment isn't conducive to that, you'll stay stuck. You
Stuck.
will.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. And I was stuck. Trust
I
me.
was stuck.
I
Yep.
was stuck and I
Oh,
had
yeah.
to dig my way out. I was like
Yes.
cat. We're women, we're
Yes.
cats. And when you push us up against the wall, we
Yes, and that's how you
destroy.
feel inside, and then you pull it all together and you're like, "Okay, well, just, tap
Right.
it in," and then you have the extra glass of wine because 'cause you're just trying to hold it together,
Exactly.
or you sleep a little bit longer, or you make excuses for why you can't do the things that might actually, help propel you because 'cause they're uncomfortable, but we gotta start. Trust me, we are women, we can handle getting uncomfortable,
Oh,
and I'll tell you what, we can get unstuck. We can do it every
and we can
single
do it
day.
together.
Yes, we
There
should do it together.
absolutely there is a group out there that you can find your people,
Yes.
as they say, your village.
Yes.
Word. I mean, you can find your village. Actually, your village tends to find you.
When you are ready, just like the teacher usually finds you when you're ready, be open to it. It has happened to me so many times in my life where I was looking and I was like, okay, well, I got to find the person to work with. I've got to
Right.
find this. I've
Right.
got to do this. And it's interesting because it's until I was ready to learn and to be at a point in my journey where I could understand it, I wasn't open and I wasn't perceiving what was coming in as guidance, of people. And I wasn't listening to hear, right? I was listening just to be like, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
And
get it.
for anybody who's listening right now, when you're on this call, you have Jane, you have myself. When you're out searching for something, when you go to the coffee shop and there's a flyer setting up for a community meeting about, women doing this or this, you go to it.
Oh,
That's your
yeah,
green light, right?
it's there.
It's there in front of you, and you won't notice it until you're ready to notice it, right? Because again, I'd remind everybody, please don't be discouraged. You're exactly where you should be on this path,
And
listening
that's
to
when
this.
the universe really works, right?
Yeah, that's when it does, because the veil's been lifted, right? At
Mhm.
different stages, as we mentioned before. It comes off at different stages when it's ready to, when you can really resonate with the information that you're receiving. And I'd say save this episode. And if today's not the day, I want you to go back to and listen to this in a week or a month, or when you're feeling most uncomfortable, or when you're feeling your best on your best day,
Yeah,
right? On
because
your
there's so
best day,
many
focus
things
on.
that you can pick from this conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it's what I do. I have books that I carry around
Oh,
with me. I call my friends and they're all over the world. And I call them and I say, look, I need to run this by you. This isn't working, this and that. I reach out to people now who, sure, they might not respond or not, but people that inspire me and I looked up to. And I only follow things on social media that it's going to be healthy, right? For
absolutely.
my I'm done with the comparison
Yeah,
game of
so many
women.
things can be so unhealthy.
No, I'm clapping for you all. And I'm not going to
Absolutely.
see stuff if it's going to, make me feel a certain way. I'm going to see stuff and create an environment that's conducive to
Mm.
me continuing to evolve to be the best version and to support you along the way too.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Um, Tessa, what's one truth about yourself you've
Mm.
spent avoiding? And how did you face it changing everything?
Oh gosh. That I was creating the same instances that were coming up in my life and that I didn't want. And that I was like, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I feel like I'm staying stuck? Why
The
is this
pattern.
pattern keep
Yes.
showing up and it's so uncomfortable? And I'd be like, it's them, it's this, it's that. And I was like, no, it's not. It is 1000% me. And I say that because individuals or situations are what they are. I have no control over them. That's none of my business. They're
Right.
showing up. But what I have done is based on old habits and patterns, invited it into my world. And I did it as a fear mechanism because I wasn't prepared yet to expand and grow into the fully evolved version of me as now.
Oh,
And this has been happening. And I'll tell you on the phone, they're like, wow, you did this, years ago. No, we're talking last month. And the month before that, I continuously work on it where I look at myself and I'll look how a situation turned out, and even in the smallest things, because I am the breaker of habits. I have given myself that title that I am the one who's going to break this habit for myself. If it is not serving me, if it's not serving the greater good, if it's not leaving me with a sense of growing, I'm done with it. But guess what? I've got to do that work, right?
yes.
I
You
got to
have
look
to do the work.
myself in the mirror and say, it's you, honey.
That's
We're
right.
going to break this and it's going to feel uncomfortable and it could be lonely or we have to do this and we've really got to reflect on it. But that's also how you break generational trauma too. So
Absolutely.
I joke that it could be with bad relationships or with
It
this
could
or that.
be. It
Could
could be.
be, but it could also be really fundamental generational trauma, which you
Absolutely.
work up to breaking those habits too. And I'll tell you what, I
And the
do that.
relationship you have with those traumas. How do
Yes.
you work that out?
Yes.
Is
Even
that
the relationships you have with your emotions.
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm.
Is that a part of stepping into the gap? Is that the
It
gap of your life that you need to step into? Because when I read that, I went, this is
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, so step into the gap, and it can very well be. So, neuroplasticity. So, when we talk about the mind and thought patterns and neural pathways, we think about our thoughts, right? And
Mhm.
ironically, we don't think about our thoughts enough.
Right.
Now, there's affirmations, there's this, that, and the other thing, whatever it is that you typically use to get yourself hyped up, whatever it could be. But the truth is, we have anywhere between 6,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day, depending on the day, how your mind works. I know it's extreme.
Yeah.
In 2023, the study was about 6,000, and now we look to it could be anywhere from there, up to 60,000. But okay, so you hear that and you're like, okay, how am I going to compete with this supercomputer, which is my brain and my thoughts? That sounds
Mhm.
crazy and chaotic. Well, here's the trick. Your thoughts have a beginning and an end to each one, like a beautiful sentence. I am well. I am calm. I am peaceful. Beginning and an end. And before the next one comes in, every single time, over 6,000 times, there's a space, a gap in between each one.
Absolutely.
And that's all I ask anybody to realize. It's
Step into
it's
the gap.
awareness that
Yes.
there is a space, because once you're aware of this space and you go through the method, which I teach of stepping into the gap, you start to really play in that space where it could be so many different things. The kids are yelling in the back seat of the car. They just spilled a milkshake all over the leather. We
Yeah.
all know that you're ready to turn around and just give them, you know what? And it's
Yeah.
like, okay. So right there before that thought comes in, you step into the gap. You're arguing with your partner. You've hit a place where the defenses are up. You're not penetrating. You're not listening to hear,
Right.
right? And no good is going to come from this. And you realize, and I tell my daughter this too. I really try to do things that I don't have to apologize to myself for later.
Absolutely.
You
You
know,
you do.
and I try, and then I'm human, and I'm going to work from that place. So you step into the gap for a moment, right? The space in between thoughts, and you realize, wait, I'm not going to say this right now. I'm going to take a moment. You pause. You take that pause, that beautiful space, which you're always and forever going to find in that space. And this is scientific. This is woo woo. This is everything in between. There's studies on it, neuroplasticity and physics, is that itself, it's just you at your core, whatever you want to call it, intuition, gut feeling, soul, it's your power, faith, it's your power, it's your connection to what it is that allows us to have light behind our eyes, to be alive, to your breath,
Right. Absolutely.
your life force. And it's the most peaceful place that you could ever be, and you can find it more and more through stillness and meditation. But it's what I teach through the method, is stepping into the gap and sharing that with others, because that gap, before I knew it was a gap, was my life source. It
Oh,
was the only thing that got me through some of the hardest times in my life, from my first traumatic experience while being born, but then also in realizing that people you love could leave your world, in the passing of my father at age 12, all
absolutely.
the way up. And it allowed me to be successful
Mhm.
within the different, lines of work that I did, to get married, to have kids, whatever those boxes of success look like to you.
Right.
Whether anybody knows it or not, and to those listening, it's the gap that's allowed you to take the breath after the really hard cry. It's the gap that allowed you to be like, no, I'm not going to say that right now.
Oh, I love that.
And you're like, I'm glad I paused. It's also the gap which will give you that space to be like, man, I should have said that. I should have spoken up for myself. I should have put my boundaries in place. That's where you're going to get the confidence, the power, and the strength, by stepping into the gap. And my book comes out in 4 weeks. So step into the gap. So everybody will have the method there.
I
And
love it. I
beautifully,
love it.
as we talked about on this call today, I think one of the first lines in chapter 1 is, the bathroom is where I used to go to cry.
Oh,
And
on the
it's
floor of the shower.
on the floor
Please
is,
come on me, please.
and I say, if you don't know how to open up these conversations with the women in your life, whether it be your family, your circles or friends, invite them over and read the first chapter and put it down. And whether you don't read the rest of the book or not, I hope you do, because it will really help you through this method. I want you to start those conversations, the real ones, right now. Cry together, hug together, laugh
Yeah.
together, and strip away all of the layers and unpack.
I love stepping into the gap. I mean, I've never heard it put in such a way. When I read it, I went, wow, okay. So that's shifting
Yeah.
when you know it's about to come, taking
Right.
that few seconds to think.
Right.
Okay, I don't think I should do this now.
Right.
However, I'm enraged, I'm angry. You know, you do things with love. That's another
Right.
stepping into the gap, right?
Yes.
Maybe I'll deliver this with love. That's
Hmm.
what the gap will do for you. You
Yes.
shift immediately, which I love. I love
Gives you
this. I can't
agency.
wait till your book
Thank
comes out. I
you.
definitely want to get it. Guys, you have to get it. This has been a very powerful conversation. I think you and I have empowered a lot of people that
I
are
hope
going to
so.
listen to this and the audience that, come along. Um, I mean, just amazing. I mean, we talked about health, we talked about self-care, we talked about, pillars, we talked about
Mhm.
being the CIO and the CEO and
Yes.
whatever else O of our lives, taking agency and looking in the mirror and saying, this is who you are.
Right.
Peel back the layers and find out who you really are.
Yes.
So step into the gap before you do it. And
Yes.
I
I love it. I love
Tessa,
it.
it's been amazing. You have
Thank
been one
you.
amazing lady to talk to today, and I
Thank
thank you
you.
for coming on Unpack Your Life. And you've unpacked a lot here
I
today.
did.
Yeah,
We
that's
unpacked.
that's what it's about. It's about letting go.
Right.
It's about unpacking what's been, you know, deep down inside and
Yes.
allowing other people to say, "Hey, listen, we've unpacked. We're still vulnerable. We're still strong. We
Right.
haven't weakened because we unpacked.
No, we're stronger for
Stronger,
it.
stronger. So
Yes.
come into Unpack Your Life and meet the powerful women that are going to empower you guys.
Yes.
Tessa has been amazing. Please tell everyone where to find you. Talk about your book a little bit more because I think that's powerful. And hey, I'm happy that you were here today.
Thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure. I can't even tell you how grateful I am. And everybody can find me, Tessa Arnold. You can find me on LinkedIn, or tessaarnold.com is probably the best place. So that's just kind of where I'm housing all this stuff, and all the updates in the book. So you can go right on there and see where you
Yes.
can get Step Into the Gap and when it's released and all of that. And please take advantage of that. It's there for you. Bring it to your sister's house, your mom's house, your friend's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just, or share it with them, or give it to them, because I want it to be that gap, that space, which gently allows us all to tap back into who we are, to find the strength within us, to ignite the fire that's burning right there, and to do all the things. But please reach out. I love connecting. I will answer any questions that you have, set up a session and we can talk through anything. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Guys, this has been another wonderful episode of Unpack Your Life. You guys know where to find us. We're on all the platforms, Apple, Spotify. I keep saying Anchor, but I think they've merged. But you
Yeah.
know where to find us at Unpack Your Life on Spotify. And join us again next week for another episode of Unpack Your Life. Tessa, it was wonderful, and I can't wait to talk to you offline.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that was so
It was so,
good.
it was so good. I know. I was like,